Hello, I'm Ollie and this is CriminOlly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today I've got a very heavy book haul for you. So a book haul video for you today. I've got 21 books to go through with you, all of which I've received since I started doing my Read What You Own challenge. So if you don't know, that's a challenge where I'm reading 100 books I already own before buying any new books. So all of the books in this book haul video today comply with the rules of that challenge. There are 3 books which I think test the boundaries of those rules a little bit. So you can let me know in the comments whether you think I've cheated appallingly or whether you think I'm okay. So some of these books were sent to me as gifts and some of them were sent by authors or publishers. So I'm going to do the ones that were sent as gifts first. So the first of those is this lovely Christmassy book which was sent to me by Eerie, one of my long-time subscribers. So thank you very much, Eerie. So this is Victims by Jack Pearl. So hopefully you can see that okay. This sounds fantastic. Let me read you the blurb to this. So apparently it was turned into a movie. So after I've read the book, I might have to track down the movie and watch that as well. So let me read you the blurb. 90 minutes to disaster. It's Christmas Eve in New York. Somewhere in the vast darkness of the sleeping city, a powerful time bomb is ticking off the seconds, waiting to turn an innocent family's happy holiday into bloody tragedy. The police have 90 minutes to find the bomb and defuse it, but nobody, including the bomber himself, has any idea where it is. As the searchers, white cop and black militant, join together in a race against time, the suspense builds to a heart-stopping climax. That really does sound fantastic, and this is a really lovely vintage edition of it with lovely red edging to the pages. So thank you again, Eerie. Very much looking forward to reading this. It looks brilliant. Next up, a book my sister gave me. So this is actually a book she bought herself. She didn't enjoy it very much, so she stopped reading it, and she thought I might like it. So this is a book I've heard great things about. So it's one that was on my list to read anyway. It's Burnham Wood by Eleanor Catton. So yeah, I think loads of people have read this and enjoyed it. So do let me know in the comments if you've read this one and if you think it's good. It's a nice edition. It's got sort of, I don't know what you call this. It's not exactly a step back cover, but it's almost a step back cover. So yeah, looking forward to that anyway. And then from my daughter for Christmas, I got a couple of fantastic books, which I'm very much looking forward to reading. So the first of those is the novelisation of the movie Terrifier 2. So the novelisation by Tim Wagner. I thought Terrifier 2 was a really fun, seems like the wrong word to use. I thought it was a good film, a really good low-budget horror film. I liked it more than the first Terrifier film, and I need to watch the third one now that that's out. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing how the novelisation works and whether it's as enjoyable as the movie was. I do think the kind of extreme gore kind of stuff doesn't always work well in prose form. So it'll be interesting to see if Tim Wagner does a decent job of that one. And then this looks fantastic as well. So this is a short story collection, Death Comes Too Late by Charles Ardai. So Charles Ardai is the owner and founder of Hard Case Crime. So like the editor-in-chief, I guess. But he's also a writer. I read one of his novels, I think it was called Little Girl Lost, a while ago, and that was really, really good. So really intrigued to read his short stories. I'm not sure if these were originally published over a period of time. Perhaps they were. I don't know. I'm assuming that they were originally published in magazines and things like that. But a fantastic Hard Case Crime style cover, and yeah, should be really fun. So looking forward to reading this. There's 20 short stories in here, and then these 3 are the books that maybe push the boundaries of the rules of the Read What You Own challenge. So you may know that MJ from the channel Reading This Life and I did a buddy read recently of 3 books from the Sweet Valley High series, which were like a werewolf-themed trilogy. We discovered doing that buddy read that there's also a vampire-themed trilogy. We both really enjoyed reading the books. So we decided we really wanted to read the vampire ones as well. But we both started the Read What You Own challenge. Now, both of us, in the rules of our Read What You Own challenge, are allowed to buy books for other people and are allowed to receive books from other people as gifts. So see if you can guess what we did. So we bought the 3 books of the trilogy for each other. So here they are anyway, and they do look phenomenal. So the first one is Sweet Valley High, number 126, Tall, Dark and Deadly. Which is, so it had Francine Pascal's name on the cover, but written by Kate William, who wrote so she's the author who wrote the 3 werewolf ones as well. Shall I read you? Let me read you the blurb of the first one. I won't read you the blurb of all of them. So, Tall, Dark and Deadly. Is Jonathan a dream guy, ... or a monster? When Jonathan Kane moves to Sweet Valley, Jessica Wakefield feels an attraction so strong it is almost supernatural. Jonathan is an interesting, intelligent and gorgeous in a dark, brooding sort of way. No wonder Sweet Valley High students are following him around. But Jonathan won't even meet Jessica's eyes. Will Jessica find a way to capture this mystery man's heart, or has she lost her touch? Elizabeth Wakefield doesn't trust Jonathan for a single minute. She can't believe her friends and her twin sister are so taken with such an arrogant guy. And when a body drained of blood is discovered behind the dairy burger, Elizabeth's mistrust explodes into fear. Jonathan might be far more dangerous than she ever imagined. Doesn't that sound phenomenal? So yeah, very much looking forward to reading that. The second book in the series is number 127, Dance of Death. And the third one is number 128, funnily enough, Kiss of a Killer. So yeah, really looking forward to buddy reading these with MJ. The werewolf ones were phenomenally entertaining, so very much looking forward to that. Right, that's got through all the gifts that I was sent. So let me lead over here and grab the big stack of books from authors and publishers, which are very, very heavy. Right, so the first few here were all sent to me by an author called Ed Kurtz, which is a name I'm familiar with. I've definitely heard the name before, but haven't read any books by him. So he seems to write both westerns and horror, so a fantastic mix there. So the first 3 things here are in I think a western trilogy he's written about a female gunslinger, I'm guessing, called Boon. So let me go through those with you. So the first one is Boon. The second one is, let's make sure I get them in the right order. So the second one is Vengeance of Boon. And the third one is A Requiem for Boon. So these all look great fun. Let me read you the blurb of the first one. I'm going to have to try and pronounce Boon's surname, which I'm going to struggle with. So Boon Sri Anchuan travels the trails, riding from town to town with her one and only friend, a portly Arkansan drunkard named Edward oh my goodness, here's another name, Spletsuessa. She has done nothing else for years, her only goal being revenge upon the one man who should have protected her, but instead sold her and her mother into bondage. From Texas to the New Mexico territory, from the filthy back streets of San Francisco's notorious Barbary Coast to the ghost town of a depleted placer mine, Boon and Edward navigate corrupt lawmen, hostile Kiowa, a mad judge and countless gunmen aiming for their heads in Boon's dogged pursuit of answers and vengeance. So those all sound fantastic. So looking forward to those. Ed also sent me this looks like another western. So this is A Wind of Knives. Let me read you the blurb of this one. Sounds good as well, actually. A quiet rancher in Civil War era Texas emerges from an alcohol-soaked haze to find his sole right hand and lover has been lynched, hanged by a party or parties unknown. Left with nothing but his failing ranch, Daniel Hayes takes it upon himself to seek out those responsible for his lover's death, experiencing puzzling new relationships along the way, including repeat encounters with a ghostly coyote that leads him to the final stop of his odyssey for revenge. Who doesn't love an odyssey for revenge? So that's good. And then some horror as well. Is this horror? So this one is The Rib from Which I Remake the World, which is a great title. I think maybe this is more kind of dark fantasy rather than horror, but got good blurbs on the back from Fangoria and Gemma File. So Fangoria said, if you like pulpy noir, I think they know me. If you like pulpy noir with a dose of existentialism mixed with some utterly bizarre horror, this book is for you. Doesn't that sound phenomenal? We've also got Bleed. Another, I'm going to assume this is another horror one. Yeah, it says the blurb refers to a grotesque muttering creature. So that sounds good. And then finally, an anthology that Ed edited called In the Cold, Cold Ground. So this is an anthology of New England horror. So 6 different novellas from 6 different authors covering 6 different states of New England. So you've got All the Strangers Come Today by Ed Kurtz, The Art of Devastation by Morgan Sylvia, After Everything by Eric Nunnally, Mine by Carl Rader, Click Clack by William D. Carl, and The Red Hike by Kristen Dearborn. Kristen Dearborn is a name that's familiar to me, but the others I haven't read, so looking forward to giving that a try as well. So thank you very much, Ed, for sending those over. Next up, a book from Mark Morris, the fantastic British horror writer. So a while ago I read and talked about on the channel Sean Hudson's novelisation of the Hammer movie Twins of Evil. Mark has also written a novelisation of a Hammer movie. His one was Marcus Vampire Circus, and he very kindly sent that to me. So this looks fantastic. I love these old Hammer movies, and I love the fact that Hammer started publishing these novelisations of them. I recently read Mark's novelisation of a Doctor Who episode, Wild Blue Yonder, which was great fun. So really looking forward to reading this. And I think he updates the setting of Vampire Circus, which I think is set in kind of Victorian times, to the modern day. So let me read you the blurb of this one. The small rural community of Shettle has fallen into a decline. It is rife with crime and its inhabitants plagued by ill fortune. When the circus of nights arrives, the people are drawn to it like moths to a flame. It's as though they are bewitched. Only 4 men realise that there is something terribly wrong, and as the town is enclosed in a barrier of sickness through which no one can enter or leave, they must do their utmost to protect their loved ones before it's too late. So, looks fantastic. I have seen Vampire Circus, but like years and years and years ago. I think I recorded it off BBC Two or something like that when it was on, and watched it. So remember it being a fun one. So really looking forward to reading Mark's novelisation of that. Next then we have a book I'm really looking forward to, Nat Cassidy's new novel, which comes out from Titan Books on the 22nd of April 2025, according to this. So this is When the Wolf Comes Home. So I've talked about Nat Cassidy's books Rest Stop and Mary on the channel, both of which I thought were phenomenal. So very much looking forward to reading this, although I have to say the print is really tiny in this advanced reader edition. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, I may have to put my specs on for this one, but yeah, Nat Cassidy's stuff is phenomenal. So yeah, let me read you the blurb of this as well. One night, Jess, a struggling actress, finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. As they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follow them. At first, Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn there's more to the surreal and grisly events than she could ever have imagined. And that when the wolf finally comes home, none will be spared. This looks fantastic. Always a big fan of Nat Cassidy, so very much looking forward to that. Next, we have a book from a British horror author, Simon Avery. So I read one of Simon's short stories in an issue of Occult Detective magazine a while ago, and it was fantastic. It was really, really great. So he sent me his new novel, Poppy Harp, which has a wonderfully creepy kid's bunny on the cover there. I'm going to read you the blurb of this one. I may not read the whole thing because the blurb is quite long, but it does sound really good. Once upon a time, not so very long ago, in a lonely old house in the countryside, there was a little girl called Imogen. Every day she climbed upstairs to the top of the house. At the top of the house was an attic, and in that attic was a doll's house. And in that doll's house lived a great many things. Old things, lost things, forgotten things. So this sounds like it could be very, very creepy indeed. I love like creepy toys and things like that in horror, so very much looking forward to that one. Next we have a new, this is a short story collection. So this is The Edge of Insanity by James Flynn. So I read another short story collection by James recently, which I've now forgotten the name of. I think it was called, was it called Bunch of Fives? Something like that. I had a number in the title anyway, but that was a really entertaining collection. So looking forward to this one. Let me read you the blurb on the back here. So we got so it gives a description of the stories, each of the stories that's in here. A castaway stumbles upon an island tribe worshipping an elusive figure. An AI judge's relentless pursuit of justice leads to an unthinkable verdict. A filmmaker's obsessive quest to cover an urban legend leads to a mind-bending revelation. An elderly man seeks a fortune through time travel. In the depths of space, a seemingly helpful robot... I'll try that one again. In the depths of space, a seemingly helpful robot hides a chilling secret. So the other collection I read by James had some really interesting sci-fi in it, as well as horror. So yeah, looking forward to giving that one a try. And then finally, I've got 3 things from the Men's Adventure Library. So a fantastic imprint that publishes reprints of stories and articles and artwork from Men's Adventure magazines from the kind of 50s, 60s and 70s. So they've sent me 3 things. So thanks very much, Bob, for sending these over. So the first one is the latest instalment of Men's Adventure Quarterly. So this is their kind of quarterly. It's kind of a magazine, but kind of a book, which has a theme each quarter. So this one, as you can tell from the cover, is UFOs. So we have a load of UFO themed stories and artwork in here. As the cover says, you've got alien abductions, cattle mutilations, underwater sightings, government cover-ups and crop circles. As always, this is beautifully put together. So you can see they do a fantastic job of reprinting some of the old stories and artwork and things like that. So very much looking forward to this. The flying saucers are real. So yeah, this looks like great fun. Look at those covers, just phenomenal. They really do a great job with these. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And then I don't know how much of these I'm going to be able to show because they're slightly spicy. So Bob also sent me 2 of these lovely hardcover volumes featuring the artwork of Ron Lesser, who did loads of paperback covers and things like that. So let me just open it up and make sure I find some that are suitable for showing on the channel. So he did a movie poster for High Plains Drifter, for example. So a fantastic artist. You can see the kind of full artwork there, and then the book it was part of the cover of. So yeah, really looking forward to this. This looks like a wonderful book just to kind of leaf through. A lovely coffee table book. So this is volume 1, which is Deadly Dames and Sexy Sirens. And then also volume 2, Dangerous Dames and Cover Girls. Cover Dolls. So yeah, really looking forward to reading these while I drink my morning coffee and have a biscuit or 2. So yeah, these look fantastic. So thank you again very much, Bob, for sending these over. So yes, that's the books gone through. Let me know if there's any in the comments that particularly caught your eye. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.